Reverend Schanzer, we're so happy to welcome you to the Annenberg Community Beach House. I'm Ruth Ann, this is Cameron. We are docents at the guest house where the public is welcome to come and visit and hear all the history and the stories that have happened here. And you are part of that, very much a part of the history. So please tell us, how did you come to be part of this beach house history?
Thank you, Ruth Ann. As Ruth Ann said, my name is Orven Schanzer, and I've been told or asked to say a few words about my early days here at the beach house. I can remember it very vividly. I worked here in 1949 through 1951. We had a little beach club right on the beach, and we had basically hot dogs and hamburgers, and it was a wonderful time. The hotel, which was then, as I worked there, was Ocean House, and it was built for Marion Davies, as you know, by William Randolph Hearst in the late 20s and early 30s, I believe. The place was built, and William Randolph Hearst, after the first time it was built, didn't like the way it was built. He thought the ceiling was much too low. They junked the place and they rebuilt it for the second time. And as I understand it, there was still a third time which he thought was not too good, so they revamped the place and built it for a third time. The word was that it was around $3 million for the complete building, but the furnishings was like $5 million. So in those days, that was pretty big money.
Well, then it became Ocean House Hotel after Marion Davies sold the property, and you were part of that phase of its history. And there you were on the beach. What were you doing for your job? What was your job?
Okay, I waited tables on the beach, and we had a bunch of very, very nice people, basically movie people that would come in for a snack or so, and they had cabanas right on the side, and for a nominal sum, you could rent the cabanas and come out to the beach club and have a drink or a hot dog or something.
What was your typical customer? Celebrities, family?
Yeah, most of them were celebrities. A lot of them were the producers and directors. Some of them were actors. They would run around the beach and play volleyball or whatever was going on at the time. But I do remember that there was a person named Tom May, and Mr. May was the son of the founder of the May department stores, and he was always good for a $10 tip, even if he ordered a dollar drink, you know. So this is how I made a living in those days, because at the studio the pay was very, very little, very, very little at all.
Were there parties here? Were you serving at parties, or was it?
They usually had dinner parties after we left.
Okay.
After we would be through here, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right.
But I remember one time the main dining room wanted, I think it was something like a parfait, ice cream parfaits. So they came down to us and said, can we provide them for us? I didn't know how to make a parfait. so I and 2 or 3 other guys took ice cream by our hands and sort of squashed it, put it in a jar, and that was parfait.
Bravo!
Improvised.
Yeah, it was improvised. I never knew what a parfait was in those days. No.
Well, you created it.
We made the parfait, yeah. We haven't heard back so far.
Did you tell us how you got the job here? Did you tell us?
A friend was the assistant maitre d' here at the beach club, and I knew him quite well. And he asked me if I wanted to work down here, and first I said no. I'm working enough and going to school. And he said, well, you'll make good wages, and it's a lot of fun working down here, which it was. And I'm glad I did do it. But it was through a friend that I joined the beach club down here. Yeah.
All right.
And it was your wits and charm and good looks that got you the job, I bet.
So I don't know about that. But it was fun waiting on people. So I never thought in my life I'd be a waiter.
But you met a lot of people that way.
Yes, yes, I did.
Yes.
And you said you made more in tips on the weekend than you did in your weekly job. And your salary, do you remember what your salary was at that
I
time?
certainly do. I started at 75 cents an hour, and later on it went up to $1 an hour at the studio, which was $40 a week. At the beach club here, I'd make $40, $50, $60 a day in tips. So it paid off. It paid off big for me.
Yeah.
So I owe this place a debt of gratitude.
So do you remember the hotel as being an elegant, swanky place, or what kind of a place was it?
It was probably the most swankiest, the nicest place here on the beach. They had a wonderful dining room. I recall, even in the freight elevators, they had a painting, a small painting, and I asked, I believe it was the manager, I asked him what the painting was, and he looked at it and he said, it's a nice painting. The next time I used the freight elevator, the painting was gone, and I asked him again, why is the painting missing now? He said, it turned out to be a master painting. I don't recall whether it was Picasso or not Rembrandt, but
A famous artist.
it was a famous artist, yeah.
And what about the Rathskeller? What do you remember about that?
The Rathskeller was a magnificent bar. It was downstairs at the bottom of the hotel. And it was brought over from Germany piece by piece, disassembled, brought back over here, and Mr. Hearst had them reassemble the Rathskeller as it was in Germany in, I don't know what year, 1800, but it was a gorgeous room. And this is where a lot of the people would go downstairs, and probably just to absorb the beauty of the room as well as having a drink.
And what about the hotel? Was it very popular? Did celebrities stay there as well, or were visitors from out of town? How did it function
I'm
as
not
a
sure
hotel?
as to how stayed at the hotel. We didn't have privy to that kind of information, but I know that the beach, the people that I served on the beach, were very, very high-ranking people in their profession. And as high as they were, that's how nice as they were. So it was a fine time of my life.
I was going to ask you about how your feelings now, looking back at that time in your life.
I regret very much not having appreciated it as much then as I do now. Thinking back on the wonderful time, it's an era that is no more and will probably never be again. Mr. Hearst, to him, money was absolutely nothing. And the things that he brought in from Europe are masterpieces. Everything was really just magnificent. The swimming pool, I think today it's almost the same as it was then. But everything was a piece of beauty.
Well, we're so happy you came back to rediscover your past and share your memories with us.
I'm very happy to. I don't know whether I've shed an awful lot of light on what we used to do, but if anybody appreciates this, why, I'm very happy.
We do very much. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure for us.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Orven.
Thank you very
for
much.
your time and
Very much.
stories.
Yes.